When should you start detailed planning for your retirement? Got this question in the comments the other day, and excellent question. Love it. I've been asked this a few times, but chose to make a video here today. My short answer is about 10 years. Okay, now let me qualify that with a lot of things. 10 years. Why 10 years? Well, you would not believe the number of comments that I get daily. I'll say it's roughly four I average, of people that went into detailed retirement planning and figured out that they could retire 1, 2, 3, 4 years earlier than they thought was possible. So that's why I say 10. Start at 10, and then if you kind of like, say you're thinking about retiring at 62. At 52, go into your analysis, and then you may say, hey, wait a second, I could retire at 58. And now, since you know that a little bit early, 3, 4, 5, 6 years early, you can start shifting your assets to spend during that retirement. When I say shifting your assets, if you retire, say, for example, before 59 and a half, you need someplace for your money to come from. Do you want to take it out of your IRA? Probably not, with a penalty. Do you have some money in a brokerage account? Do you have your bucket set up of your safe money and then your long-term growth money? Gives you time to move things around that makes sense for your case. So that's why I say 10 years. Now, specifically, what I would say is get a comprehensive software package like Boldin 10 years ahead of time, then do all your modeling. Then you don't need to renew Boldin right away, okay? You may say, okay, it makes perfect sense to retire in 10 years. Here's my tax issues. Here's when I think I'm taking Social Security. Here's my rates of return, where I have investments located. Then you may say, okay, I'm just going to glance at my retirement plan every other year or every 2 years. That's fine, okay? So you may not want to buy a comprehensive software package like Boldin, $120 a year. You can catch it on sale every once in a while for $96. But 10 years. 10 years makes perfect sense to me, because you don't want to wait until, hey, I'm going to retire 1 year from now, let's get into this. And then you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, I could have retired 4 years ago. I could have retired 3 years ago. Now, I say that with a big asterisk. When should you start retirement planning? I'm saying when you start working at 20 years old, 18 years old, 22 years old. You should start thinking about saving either in a Roth or in a pre-tax account or in a brokerage account. You got to have a plan. What I didn't have Roth in 1987 when I started working. Didn't have Roth wasn't thought of at my company. So I started saving the 401k, got the match, and then every time I got a promotion or an increase, I took a percentage of that, large percentage, and increased it. I started off at 9%, and then I had a company match of 6%. And then by the end, I was saving about 24% in my pre-tax account. Roth really didn't become available till about the time I was leaving the company. So early on in your career, you need to start looking at saving for retirement. The vast majority of people in their 20s probably need to do Roth. Pay the 10%, pay the 12% tax, federal tax right out of pocket. Yeah, you'd love not to save that tax, but eventually you're going to be 60 years old and paying all that tax. Or RMD time paying that tax. So Roth is probably right for you when you're in your 20s, maybe even 30s, but keep an eye on your income. As you get into your 30s and 40s and 50s, I think it's good to have a variety of accounts. Have some Roth, have a brokerage account, have some, traditional IRA. Give you options to pull money from when you're in your retirement, okay? Options is a big deal. Management of taxes, I know it's not fun, but the more you manage taxes in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, the easier it's going to be at RMD time. For me, that's 75. And the software I use, Boldin, gives me clear visibility based on the inputs I put in of what that looks like. And it's not pretty at all. And that's why I'm doing a lot of Roth conversions right now to minimize my tax load going forward. So there's your answer. 10 years, I'd really start to get serious about planning my retirement. I've made a lot of videos on how I would go about that plan. You know, one, I'd buy a comprehensive software package. Number two, I'd talk to a few financial planners. They love talking to you. This is what they do. They love talking to you. I've got a few contacts below if you want to talk to people, that I have actually used and talked to live and respect what they do. Take a look at those links below. Neil Fort Window is a guy that I use. Take a look at him and see what he can do for you. And if you got a specific question about retirement, your retirement plan, like what should I put in for inflation, I really need some professional. Check out the folks at Money Pickle. That's what they do. They answer your questions. Free 45-minute call. Talk to them. It's Joe out.